Hello guys, welcome to the latest Magic FX YouTube video. This is a trade recap, and it's a trade from Friday the 26th of August, so a couple of days ago, on Euro USD of course. I've kind of thought about taking on other pairs recently, but at the end of the day I found that Euro USD still for me alone provides enough quality trades every month to stay profitable and consistent. So I'm sticking with her for now. Always get tempted now and again to shift around when price is being, in the middle of this month, in the past few weeks, it's been a little bit temperamental. But it's all, as always, pulled through, and the high probability trades have come. So you've just got to keep that faith. Anyway, so looking at price, what did we have? We had bullish 15-minute structure. This is a 15-minute, okay, on Euro USD. So we came down, all this, creating a structure here, blah de blah de blah. And we had, yes, a bullish structure from the bottom here, where we shifted from bearish to bullish, breaking this swing high here. And then we came all the way down, building this internal structure over here, tapped into kind of the extreme area down here, and eventually pushed up again. Now, if we were to look at this point on the 4 hour, we could potentially be concerned with whether price was going to continue down. Because if we look at this, we actually got a cemented low here on the 4 hour. This candle closing above the candle to its left, so creating what I call minor structure on the 4 hour. And if you want to learn more about the way I do structure, check out all my videos on structure mapping part 1, structure mapping part 2. Okay, so if you want to look at this, and we will see this was 4 hour minor structure, and we could also see that we had tapped into a 4 hour zone here in the premium of that leg, so we might expect price to push down. However, because price is fractal, what we can do is get more information on the zone that we've tapped into on a lower time frame. So for me, the lower time frame after the 4 hour is the 15-minute. I'm not one of these people that uses all the time frames to try and find the perfect zone. I used a selection of time frames, otherwise I'll be there all day and I'll find a billion perfect zones, and I'll start forcing stuff. So for me, I'm using, I'll use the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 15-minute, and the 1 minute, and the 5 second for entries, and they all work exactly the same way. So over here, that 4 hour zone we tapped into was over here, and if we look on the 15-minute, what do we see? Well, we can see that this was the 15-minute range that we tapped into, the leg of price, and we tapped into this premium. However, if we look at it, that premium was already mitigated over here, so it's no longer actually open for business. So if we consider that mitigated, yes, we've had a reaction to it, but do we expect it to still have enough power to push down and break the lows? Well, no. Our expectations are that we will need to come up higher to find an unmitigated area on the 50-minute to actually continue the trend down, if that is what price wants to do. So with that in mind, we've now built the story to continue looking at longs on the 15-minute to continue this bullish trend. So if we look at what's gone on after we created this bullish swing structure, so we've had a low, had a high, had a low, created a new high. Now we want to see what's happened between that low and that high, and what we've done is create a substructure, because we had a chock down right here. That for me is a valid chock. So our first substructural leg is from here to the cemented high up here, and we came down. If we look at that, we can see price did mitigate the discount of that first substructural leg before pushing further up. Okay, so we could see this as price having done its job. However, there is also the fact that price did not mitigate a valid zone down here, so we could also still see this as potentially inducement, and this still open for business. So okay, keep that in mind. Now what happened next was we broke that high, and we created, we closed above it and created more substructure here with this cemented high, and that did not mitigate the next substructural discount here before moving up again. Okay, and then we went on to break major structure, and then after we break major structure we expect a major pullback. So we have our major discount area here, and we have various substructural unmitigated discounts, aka this one, and I'll make that blue to differentiate it from the major. Okay, so we have two unmitigated discounts sort of crossing over with each other, and that's what I call, you know, crossover zones. And you can see here that price needs to come down into this discount to mitigate something in order to continue up. So we have a valid area here in which to look for these zones, but still you can see there's a lot of different zones in here. So what we can once again do is look at the internal structure within the substructure, and you can see I'll just mark that out with the path tool, in that we had a low here, and then we cemented a high here, and we created all this internal structure up here all the way along. And this is what we want to focus on, because this is in the discount of that substructure, so this is the only bit that's important, even though we carried on making more stuff up here. But this is in the discount of the substructure and is in the discount of the major structure, so this is our point of focus. And you can see that we had an internal leg here that was unmitigated to the discount. So we are really refining now down to pretty much, after we've done that, we've refined down to one particular zone, like so. Now you can see right here, we've already tapped in, and we've already had a reaction to that zone. So are we thinking that this is done with? Because we pushed up, had a reaction, and the reaction has failed. Well, if we want to get even more information from have we tapped into something valid down here, we can go to the 1 minute because price is fractal like that, and we can see that on the 1 minute what we had once again was more structure. Okay, so if we look at the 1 minute structure we had a low here and a high here, and that's our first kind of chock leg on the 1 minute, and that got mitigated to the discount before continuing up. Okay, so then we cemented another high here on the 1 minute, and we had our next leg of price there, and this was never mitigated to the discount. So we can once again refine down certain zones here. On the 1 minute we have this area, and we have this inside bar here. So now we've refined all those 15-minute zones down into two zones within there on the 1 minute, and we've eliminated all this other shit. It's just noise because of our higher time frame story that we built. And there's so much value in doing this, and you can see here that price just completely dismissed this first inside bar. Okay, and then you can see right here that price has failed to tap in to that extreme zone. And a lot of people use imbalance, and they'll see that, oh, we tapped into this imbalance, price has done its job there, and we can take a trade off that. And you know, you might also think, oh, Mr. Trade, 'cause I was waiting for a zone down here, and it's just tapped the imbalance and it's reacted. Well, that's where patience comes in, and that's where you wait for price to do its thing, because this to me looks just purely like inducement. A, it's equal lows down there, and B, it just hasn't tapped into a zone in this unmitigated area that we've refined. So expecting that tap, and that is exactly what we got down here. Refining zones down like this is how it makes it possible to take trades with very little confirmation. So you can take direct 5-second entries from things like this. And once you've refined the zone down to that specific high probability zone, the job is like 90% done. You then just need to get in somehow, and basically you get involved in the exact same way on the lower time frames as you do with setting up the trade on the higher time frames. So first thing I'll do, I'll either wait for a 5-second, or I'll wait for a 1-minute chop and then a 5-second. If I go on the 5-second here, what do I see? Well, I see that we have a high here. That is our 5-second high after tapping into this zone, and I can see that we haven't yet broken that 5-second high. So that is what I'm waiting for to break before getting involved. Then you see, like, wow, okay, that's a big break. Is price going to come down and tag us in? So now what I'll do on the 5-second, and you can refine zones down on the 5 seconds in the exact same way, you can look at this as price creating this first 5-second substructural leg, coming down, mitigating the discount, pushing up, creating a second 5-second substructural leg, failing to mitigate that to the discount, and then pushing up hugely like this. Okay, so we have an unmitigated 5-second discount here with some sort of inducement right there. So for me, this was kind of enough for me to say, if price gets into this zone, I'm happy to look for an entry. Okay, so when price came back down, which it did eventually, I also wanted to see, did we mitigate anything valid to the left? And the answer again is no. We just tapped into imbalance, and imbalance for me means nothing. So because we've done that, that gives me the expectation that this is just inducement, and we're actually going to come down and then push higher to at least tap into a valid zone before coming down, if we are coming down. So as we come down on the 5-second, all I'm waiting for is for price to get to this level and then just give me some kind of sign that it wants to go up. So here we come down, coming down, almost there. We tap in right there, and we get that nice reaction. It's a chock, it's all sorts, it's really nice. It's exactly what you want to see on the 5-second. Okay, so at this point you can actually decide to get involved in a trade right there. So that is absolutely what you can do. The price comes back down, tags you in, and it continues to push up from there. Now the reason I only needed tiny confirmation on the 5 seconds here, and on my broker actually there was a little boss here, but on this is still enough because I'd already refined down to a valid unmitigated discount. This was the only area on the 5 second, so I'm almost happy enough just to set a limit there on that unmitigated 5 second discount and just take an order straight from that. But it's always safer to have that extra confirmation. We tapped in, we got that chock, and I was happy to get involved. So then at that point, you're aiming for 4R to get risk free, and then after that, you could have a logical 1 minute target of, if we look at price on the 1 minute, okay, maybe just 10R here up into the premium of this Lego price. But if you wanted a longer 15-minute target, and this video isn't about just getting massive trades, but because we are assuming that this has mitigated something that didn't need to be mitigated, job was done, we could actually assume that is gonna get taken, and you could go for a nice 69R, so it's a good number, 69R. And then price does its thing, continues to shoot up from there. I didn't take 69R on this. I had a slightly more conservative target of that price was just going to come up and take these zones, so I actually targeted this valid zone right here for around 20 to 25R. But yeah, it would have made total sense to go for this 69R trade, and yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. Now, there was a lot of information in that video. You might be wondering why I give that information for free. Other people wonder why I charge people for information, and the answer is A, because I'm a really nice guy, and B, if you want more information like this, if you want to trade with me every day and see this, it's gonna cost you. But yeah, knowledge doesn't come free, but this knowledge does, and if that's all you need, I'm happy to give that to you and put that out there on YouTube. And yeah, refining zones down is a big question. Loads of people want to know about it, and it's just, there's a really simple way to do it, and I don't know if it seems complicated to you guys. It seems very simple to me after doing it for a long time, but once you get used to it, and it's just about using different structure types and being able to eliminate certain mitigated areas, and then once a range has been mitigated, you can wipe out all the zones in that range. It just makes it super easy, and you just get involved in the best trades. Okay, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys, and see you next